So this is the recap for live stream 339, and unfortunately we've had a fairly big blow up today, and it was not great. It was not great at all. A day that started promisingly, definitely seemed like I was going to have positive results. Didn't turn out that way in the end. They started well, but not good. So let's have a look at gold first. And over on gold, pretty much waited till our usual time by 11:30 EST. We took a long here, so we could see prices turn around from the 50% point in the daily range. Went long, price turned around, and I believe I stopped out. Yep, stopped out there. Went long again, took another loss as prices turned around. Didn't like the price action, took it off early. Went short, price turned around, took it off. Went short again on the close back below this level, and took it off here. Might have been break even or a small gain. Went short. Now went short below the low of day. Did know there was a bit of risk to it. Prices turned around and took it off there. Went short off this 50% point in the day. Price turned around, took it off for a loss, and eventually went long, went in my favor. Price started to turn a bit, so took it off for profit. Went long again, looking for the move up to 51.4. Price got to 51.4, and this was part of the series of trades where I was getting stopped out. Well, I wasn't getting stopped out. Price was coming within one tick of my target, then turning around, and that caused me a tremendous amount of frustration today. So price can move in one tick. Eventually, due to other trades, took it off there for a loss. Went long, looking for price to break out of this area here that we had some resistance. Price didn't do that. Price turned around, took a loss through there. Went short, didn't get all the contracts filled, took it off early. Price would have went on to hit target. We're going to do something a bit different. We're going to look at NQ before looking at ES, because ES caused us the most difficulties today and played a large part in losing the account, along with NQ as well. So over on NQ, came into the market after it sold off, so pretty much giving back most of the FOMC gains. Decided to take a long here, took profit, long again. Eventually took that off for a loss, then went short, took that off for a loss, went long, think profits, long again, profits. So it's taking some profitable trades through here, but one of the trades did cause me difficulty where it came within one tick of target and then turned around. After that, I went short here and I took profits right there. This is where I had some difficulties now. So I took a short based on Fibonacci. Now with this trade, the target was down at 26.50. This is where the target should have been. So I took the trade. I decided I wasn't going to. I decided as prices decided to turn a bit, not even turn, it just pulled back. I decided to take it off, not following the plan, took it off. Prices came back, didn't put their order back on, put the order back on, prices sold, continued to sell off, so then got back in 30 points lower than where I exited early up here at 77. Went short, and eventually that 26.50 would have been hit, and as we can see in hindsight, price would continue to the downside. So that was pretty frustrating that I got in late. I also took profits early and then got back in late, even worse than I was up here. So got back in late again, and eventually prices hit target. So that caused me quite a bit of frustration. Similar scenario over on ES. And what happened was I saw prices selling off, and then out of FOMO, of course, we could have got back in here, but I could have got back in there. Felt FOMO as prices broke down towards the lows from yesterday. And what did I do? I went short and prices reversed immediately. Went short, prices reversed immediately, and eventually I was stopped out, as we can see here, after the pullback, posted a signal, and we are seeing the market continue to the downside a further 80 plus points. So that was very frustrating. Took a very big loss through here due to the level of volatility in the market as it retraced to the upside. And finally, we'll look at ES, the instrument most responsible. Well, I can't blame the instruments. One of the instruments that I traded not very well and paid the ultimate price. So went long, took profits, short, didn't work, took a loss there. So pretty much break even through here early on. Went short. So similar to NQ. Went short pretty late here, and that was pretty much because of the mistakes I made over on NQ. So the second entry on NQ off the Fibonacci is the reason why I've taken a short here. Now the target here was down at 13, so all the way down at 413. Now what happened? Went short, price came down to 18. Same scenarios happened on NQ. Prices started to consolidate a bit, decide to take profit at 18, only to watch prices break down almost immediately all the way down to 13, where my original target was. That was very frustrating. The frustration from that took me into taking trades over on NQ and this one over here on ES. Now the problem was with the ES trade, when I was looking at the trade and I saw that prices were coming down to the 18, I started thinking about the profits I did not get. So what I did was I typed in 115 here, measured it out to see that I would have possibly left 37 on the table. Problem with that is I didn't make the adjustments back to normal amount of contracts. So when prices came down and I FOMO'd in here, pressed the button twice and I was in 300 rather than 150, as similar scenarios to NQ. Price turned around immediately and hit my stop, so took a big loss on twice the amount of contracts I normally trade. And with that combined with the NQ, that was pretty much the account. And as we can see here, prices just pulled back and continued to the downside. In this occasion, well, 18 points. So today should have been a big day. Today should have been a day I've recovered the account. And instead, what did I do? Through emotional trading, lack of discipline, I ended up losing the account. So we'll have a look at some of the trades, and the most recent trades being the trades that were the most costly. So we saw on NQ, we lost 177,500, huge loss there. And over on ES 210, very big loss for a single trade on those 300 contracts. Overall, we can see here, that's what the account balanced down to where I'm going to need to reset it. We can also see before that the account was in okay standing. I was up at 464 at the peak before taking that loss, unnecessary loss over on gold. But we can see these were the trades I closed early on the Fibonacci's, on the ES and the NQ. Those should have been bigger winners. So had an okay day in terms of sizing, slowly building back the account, but ultimately paid the price. It took quite a lot of trades. I'm not going to go through them all, but ultimately poor trade management on my part. We'll have a look at the trade performance. Over on the trade performance here, we can see took a total of 26 trades. Lost today 349,500. Very bad. We can see accuracy is down at 38%. Even though I've got 64% on NQ, we can see the average winner and the average loser are clearly out of sync. Almost twice the size the average loser of the winners, so that's not great. And of course, where we've taken a massive loss on ES, we can see that's of course impacted on the average there, and we're seeing minus 114,687, whereas average gain is 37,812. So that huge loss on both ES and NQ played, of course, a major role in today's performance. Over on gold, we can see average loss being smaller than the average gain. So that's a positive, but overall the P&L is negative because we only had one winner and 10 losers. Over on gold, we only had a 9% win percentage, which is absolute. How could I put this nicely? You know what? I can't think of a word that would be appropriate to describe that. But 1 win, 10 losses, not great at all. So today's day, I've definitely thought about not doing a recap. But that's the reason why I'm doing it now, because if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. So it's just a day of just emotional trading on my part. The FOMO, realizing I was in too many contracts, not making adjustments and taking off the contracts, instead holding in hope, using hope as a strategy as the market retraced, probably fittingly. So I'll have to reset the account, and I'll seriously have to think about what I'm going to do to prevent something like this happening again. But I'm not sure if it's simply who I am. I've been trading long enough now. I think it's pretty much who I am as a trader. I don't think I'm going to be any different in the future. And that's just me being honest. So with that said, thanks for watching. Good luck trading. Have a great day.